Welcome to the Truth in the Turn podcast. I'm your host, Zach Arnold, alongside Austin Leak, and our podcast dives into the truth of NASCAR to break some of the narratives within the sport. Today we're talking to Paul Swan, a very talented pit crew member on Austin Dillon's NASCAR Cup Series Richard Childress Racing Team, and we have a great interview for you today.
And make sure you guys give us a follow on our Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube, Truth in the Turn.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining our podcast today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So, first question is just tell us about who you are and what made you want to be a part of a NASCAR pit crew.
So my name is Paul Swan. What made me want to be part of a pit crew was, I guess, the biggest thing was I played sports all my life, played college football at Bowling Green. So being a competitor, being a part of a team, all that has always been one of the biggest parts of my life, something I've always loved, and that competitiveness is always something that sticks with you when you've been that way your whole life. So once football was over, I came down to Wake Forest, was going to be a strength coach. All my coaches, after we were done at Bowling Green, my head coach, Dave Clausen, got the head job at Wake Forest. So came down with them. I was going to be a strength coach. I had to do an internship to graduate Bowling Green. And then I was just going to stick on. Got hooked up with some people who were at Wake already, and they gave me some contacts of people in NASCAR and told me about pit crews and how they look for athletes when they're done playing their sports. You know, said you travel all over, you make a good living. Sounded awesome, and it was a way for me to be a competitor again and be a part of a team. So that was super intriguing. So that's pretty much how I got into the sport.
Awesome. I see that jersey behind you. Was that one of yours?
Oh, yeah. That's the old MAC championship jersey right there.
Is that number, 33?
Number 33. Best number in the game, boys.
So that number is with RCR. Is there any, connection or?
No, that was just honestly luck. So it's funny because I grew up, when I was younger, I was always number 3. And then as I got a little older, I was always number 33. So it's kind of funny how those numbers have always been a part of my life. And then I get to RCR and 3 is the main number and 33 is one of their numbers too. So that was something really cool when I got to RCR.
Yeah, so you mentioned the competitiveness, and does the competitiveness on the football field and the NASCAR pit crew, is it the same or is it like a different feeling?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, honestly. It's pretty different because in football, it's just, you're grinding. The harder you work, the harder you grind. I think the better it's going to be. It's a bunch of meatheads out there. You're just kind of cracking skulls. You're going hard all the time. You're crushing weights in the weight room. It's really about, how hard you can go. In NASCAR, being a part of a pit crew, we do a lot of that stuff. We work hard in the weight room. We train, we practice, we do all that stuff. But it's more, I guess you could say, surgical in the sense of how we have to attack a pit stop. There's a lot more intricate pieces to a pit stop. You're battling against a car instead of a human. You really all need to be in sync. The littlest error with a pit stop can be a big catastrophe to the overall time of that stop. With football, I think you can make smaller mistakes and still get by with just, physicality or just being bigger, faster, stronger. In football, the more if you're struggling with something, you can push through it. You can grind harder. In NASCAR with pit crews, that's going to kind of make things worse. You got to kind of slow down, assess the situation, see what went wrong, and kind of be more delicate with how you approach fixing that mistake. So it's definitely different in that sense, but there's a lot of stuff that correlates training, the film prep, watching film all the time, watching our practice stops, working out, meetings with your team and coaches, all that stuff. So that all plays really well because I love doing all that in college and I still love doing it now in NASCAR.
So you mentioned training. How much training do you do throughout a week?
Man, I'm training at least, 5 to 7 days a week. 7 days I'm doing at least something physical. I'll lift, I'll do full body lifts, I'll do these circuits, whether it's a stretch circuit or a cardio circuit. I'm always on the stair climber, elliptical, treadmill doing stuff. We're outside doing stuff. Weekends at the track, I'll go work out in the hotel gym, just kind of get a little movement workout in or get something bigger in if I had to miss a day during the week. So it's constant training, constant battle. And as I get older, I'm 35 this year, so not that old, but as I get older than my 20s and those years where I played football, I kind of got to change some things of how I train and more so taking care of my body for the longevity of being in this.
Gotcha. Yeah, and of course, there's a lot of traveling when you work with a NASCAR team. How does that take a toll on your life, or how do you enjoy it now?
Man, when I was single and younger, it was fine. Like I've traveled all I want. Now I have a wife, I have a baby girl, so traveling every weekend. I mean, with this season, we don't have any weekends off as a pit crew. We're February to November pitting trucks, Xfinity Cup, and we don't have any time off. So it's definitely a toll on the mind and body, and it sucks being away from my wife and daughter. But I love what I do, so it's enjoyable. But it's always nice getting home Sunday night or having a day off here and there to spend time with them. But the traveling now is definitely a little harder than when I was young and single.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So what's one thing about your job that fans don't see on TV but should really know about?
Oh, man. I just think the camaraderie of the guys, it's like a football locker room. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in a locker room, but it is awesome. It's that feeling of the brotherhood, and you guys can rag on each other. You guys can, talk crap to each other, get under each other's skins. But at the end of the day, you're going to have each other's backs. And that's probably my favorite part, is just going into the weight room, going down to practice, BSing with the guys, and just having fun. Like that. That's one of the things I miss most about my football teams. But now I feel like I kind of have that again with my guys that I pit with and who've been with for a long time. So it's definitely that atmosphere. It's awesome.
Yeah, so switching over to the reality TV show you're on, we got to see a lot of your personality and personal life from the show, Austin Dillon's Life in the Fast Lane. How did it feel to let fans see a more personal side of your life away from the racetrack?
Yeah, I love it. I love being in front of a camera. It's super fun. That show was a lot of fun to do, and we were able to really show the love we all have for each other. Austin, myself, my wife Mariel, his wife Whitney. It was super cool. I think Ace was the only kid around back then. Bella was just being born. I think the last episode it shows her being born, and then now Blaze, Austin and Whitney's daughter, she just was born about a year ago. So it was really fun to showcase just our lives on TV and just have fun with it. Like that was the biggest thing. I love having fun in front of a camera. I love being loud, being energetic, and just showing my personality. I know they all felt the same way, so that was really cool to, let everybody who watched it see what life away from the track was like.
Yeah, so your daughter's young. Have you shown it to her yet, or are you waiting to do that?
That's a good idea, honestly. She's kind of she turns 3 in May, so she's starting to understand stuff. So it would be fun to go back and show her that stuff. Now I think we're gonna have to do that pretty soon here. I think she'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll enjoy that.
You mentioned your favorite parts of every weekend in the racetrack. You've been a part of Austin Dillon's pit crew for a while. Have you had a particular favorite moment while working?
Oh, for sure, the Daytona 500 when we won that. And that was actually my first race on Austin's team. We had been great friends leading up to it, and then I finally got to be on his pit crew, and that was 2018. So we win the 500. You gotta celebrate big when you win big. So we had a great time celebrating. We all got ass tattoos and had just a wild night. And then we went to the champions breakfast the next morning. I mean, we were still drinking some cocktails and drinking some beers and having a good time. My voice was pretty much gone, and just a special weekend and a special win. So that was really cool. Definitely my best memory.
Was it Auto Club after that?
That's back when we did Atlanta right after Daytona. So we went right to Atlanta after that.
Were you guys prepared?
Yeah, I like to think, we like to have fun, but we're always prepared for what we got to do. So, and actually the celebrations went into the following week after Atlanta even. So we were still going pretty hard.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate that. And
yeah, thanks for having me, boys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And good luck next weekend. Where are we at?
It's an off week.
Oh, off week.
Not
for you guys,
but
at Talladega. Oh, you're in Rockingham this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, have a good time there, and good luck at Talladega next week after.
Appreciate it, fellas.
So that was a very insightful interview we had from Paul Swan. What was your main takeaway from that?
I just think his journey to the sport is really cool. The fact that he went from being a college football player to now being a pit crew member for Austin Dillon for quite some time now, I think that's just really interesting. Like, we see it a little bit more nowadays, but his story is quite unique, and we also saw him on that show, and you got the more personal aspect, and he talked a little bit about that on the pod, and it was just really cool to see him on TV and get the personal aspect of him that, we wouldn't really see because normally they're, kind of behind the camera, just, getting their job done, putting the tires on. But I'm curious, Zach, what you thought was interesting the most about that.
Yeah, my favorite part from that interview was learning that the number 3 or 33 followed him throughout his entire career. Obviously, if you're an athlete, a number means a lot to you, and I guess it's kind of luck when you see a number go from football into NASCAR, really with no choosing, because Austin Dillon runs number 3, and they also have number 33 at Richard Childress Racing with Austin Hill car, and it's a part-time car, but still. And I also found it really cool, like, he gets the chance to show his daughter, like, a TV show that he was in, and that'll be whenever he does show his daughter that TV show, it'll just be a moment, like a full circle moment, where he can enjoy time with his family, show times, or kind of show him what he does for a living. I'm sure she knows, but just another inside look on what it means to, like, I guess, be a dad and have a show that you're in and show it to your daughter. It's just pretty cool.
And, I mean, you look at when he said that his first race, they won the Daytona 500. Doesn't get more special than that. I mean, that's the biggest milestone race you can win. And being on the pit crew of a Daytona 500 is important because every single second matters because they all come down because they're all in the group when they race together. So that's pretty special. First race, first win.
Yeah, I enjoyed hearing the story about the celebration. I would have loved
to
see that. Austin Dillon, Paul Swan slamming a couple beers. But I'm sure they'll get another win this season. We'll see more of that on social media.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys tune in for more episodes and give us a follow on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Truth in the Turn.